We are live! Hey everyone! Welcome to the Show Must Go On line. Today's guests are Jen and Sarah of the Broadway Broads. How are y'all doing today?
We're doing hella good. How are you doing?
Hella good as well. I hope you can hear me over Slim barking.
Yes. But Slim, he's just protecting you. That's all.
He is the most protective. We were trying to wait a few minutes to see if maybe he'd simmer down and we could have a clean intro. And I realized that wasn't going to happen.
We're having some technical difficulties. No, it's probably yeah, hold on 1 second. Sorry.
Technical difficulties.
Okay, there we go. We had it on apparently on another device over there and it was doing the whole echo thing. So I apologize for that.
That is perfectly fine. I had a feeling that was going to happen. Hey, Flippo, you want to come in here, bud? No, he doesn't. He's going to go bark and chase down that other dog and say, "This is my house."
Right? Security.
Hear ye. So we're going to restart the intro thing just for the sake of having a nice clean intro and also appreciating that happened and the show must go on line, and it is what it is, and we're so happy about all this. So 3, 2, 1, we are live. Hello everyone, welcome to the show must go on line. Today's guests are Jen and Sarah of the Broadway Broads. How are you doing today?
We're doing hella good.
Hella good.
Hella good indeed. So this is a pretty good feeling of what today is going to be like. It is fresh. It is casual. It is fun. We will be taking questions from the audience. Hello, friends. I see Alexandra. I see, hi, I'm Rando M. I love that name. Judy, Christina, Julie, Alexandra again. Friends.
Love it. Our squad is here. Hi, squad.
Squad. So we have the Broadway Broad squad and we have the Showtreon squad. So we are just squad uniting right now.
Squads together. I love it.
Love it so much. So let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. And Indeed. Let's hear both of your origin stories. What got you into theater? What united each of you? And how did the Broadway Broads start? Take it away.
Ooh. Do you want to go first?
Sure. So I grew up with theater. My mom and dad, my mom sang. She did a lot of community theater. My dad is a handyman. He built sets. So I kind of grew up at local theater, which then kind of got me to do theater when I was in high school, through college, and became a professional fan of theater. Met Sara in college. And you want to tell a little bit of yours, and then we'll.
Yeah, so I actually did some performing when I was younger, did some singing, and then fell in love with theater, probably early on in high school, and did some performing there, and then went into college, and just, fell for theater pretty hard and got involved in a lot of different facets of theater. And then side note, Jen and I actually simultaneously directed a show. Did 2 different shows at a little festival that happened at SHO College in Hayward. It's Tom's alma mater. Yeah. But anyway, we were directing a show at the same time and weren't really we knew who each other, we were oh yeah, the other director, but we weren't really friends. And this was well over 20 years ago. We were sort of in the same circle, just loving theater and doing theater in any way we could get.
Yep.
And then sort of many moons later, we reconnected, our husbands actually.
Our husbands.
Started playing poker together.
Yeah.
And then we ended up hanging out, going to the house that was where the poker game was and just hanging out. And then we started chatting and it was we should go see a show. This is dumb. Why are we just sitting around here? And so we started seeing a lot of theater together. Right.
Yeah.
And then we became season ticket holders at Broadway SF. And so it was sort of stacking up the shows together, Yeah. And then, one fateful day, not fateful, I guess, but I hung out with a friend of ours, a mutual friend who is quite successful influencer. And she's an old friend of ours, and she does quite well. And so we were hanging out. It was 4th of July. I'll never forget this. And I was telling her like where to find tickets, where to sit, what show to go to, where to eat, where to park, all the things, you know. And she was like, why don't you put something together, like a podcast, a YouTube channel, something? You need to get this information out to people. And I was like, I don't know. I just go, we just go to the theater.
Yeah.
And then I got with Jen like a couple days later, and I was like, so what do you think? And she like jumped on board, and like that's sort of where the Broads, you know, were created, was of that.
Picked up a cell phone, didn't know how to edit anything at all.
She does, and she gets all the credit. Like she's self-taught. She does all the editing.
Didn't know any of it. And so we just kind of taught ourselves how to do it all. And here we are.
Yeah.
now.
And then the Broads for us, like it really became a place where we could sort of just share our passion for theater. We're two grown women, you know, like we'll say
full-time jobs.
We're in our 40s, you know what I mean? We have full-time jobs. You know, I have 2 kids. And you know, Jen's married, and but we're so passionate about this, and we get to see a lot of theater. We know we understand our privilege in that, and like we use our disposable income for that. And so for us, it was like, here's a cool way to like share our experiences, you know. And we've gotten as far as like, I'm collecting cups after the shows. This one's grabbing handfuls of playbills just to like send out to the squad or send out to like some kid in the I say this all the time. Had I got a sippy cup and a playbill when I was like 16 or something that came from New York, I would have cherished that cup and that playbill. You know what I mean? So we like to sort of.
We feel like it's our mission to pay it forward, to be able to give the little kid that's in Canada that can't get the Lights of Broadway cards, you know, or the grown adult who can't get them either. It's our way of kind of giving back. So that's our story.
Yeah. So that's who the Broads are and why the Broads are, you know? And so, and we're two close friends. I mean, little backstory, Jen and I actually worked together very closely in our day jobs for many years, you know what I mean? So we're very close friends. We're like sisters, you know, and just very lucky that we share this like real passion for for theater, all things theater, really.
Yeah.
I love everything about this. I love the true joy that talking about theater brings out in the two of you. I love the joy that just being together, the two of you exude to other people, that like, you know, when you have this passion for something, whatever it is, people can feel that, and people are energized by that, and they want to take that and like hold on to the joy and the passion however they can. And that's kind of how I gravitated towards the two of you as well, was that like, you know, when people do similar types of things, when you have a YouTube channel, when you are professional fans, as you said, I love that. That's like the best. Sometimes people take that as like a competition. Whereas for me, it's like, no, the world brought us together. The world will never be the same. We need to unite. And
the world is wide enough.
Oh God.
The world is wide enough. Yes.
Yeah.
There are going to be so many references.
I know.
Just get ready. Yeah, buckle up.
This is the place. This is the place. If we can do it anywhere, this is the place to do it, right?
Now is the time to seize the day.
Yeah. Yes.
No, agreed. Like just sharing like just a passion like that, you know, and I mean, theater, I think, is just such a collective, it's a collective, you know, just bottom line, like from just putting on the show to the audience. That's one of the things I miss so much. I was trying to explain to my husband, it's, you know, because you can get the content online and you can, you know, and I have been absorbing that, but what I miss the most is that collectiveness of, you know, for 600 people in a room together, the lights go out, we're all watching the same story, you know, and just collectively experiencing that. And I think that's what I miss the most about theater. Yeah, exactly. That sort of cohesiveness that happens, or that symbiotic thing that happens in the theater. And so I miss that the most.
So much. I you know, it comes in waves of emotions, and understanding that this is life. And so like getting too sad about it, like doesn't do anything. And like, what can we do to like move forward and like stay safe and be helpful and do the series because of it. And you know, and be grateful that I get to spend time with John and Slim, which we will be talking about so much in this show. Just you wait. And and it has certainly made me think a lot about these wonderful experiences and like the timing of it all. And it's just I was thinking the other day, I see a couple of the Shotrons have even joined more of Lisa and Eva and Judy, and all of you are fabulous.
Oh, my niece is watching too. Hi, Sunny.
Hi, Sunny.
I see so many. Oh, I love it. This is great.
So many friends.
Hi, John. This is so great. Awesome. Yeah.
And so there are so many One Last Chai references. We will be getting into that. Yeah. I promise. I have some notes. I always write down some on a sticky note. I will even show you. I will give you the behind the scenes sticky note access.
Yes. We came prepared too. We have notes too.
I love it. Yeah. And just we do weekly trivia, and there's something so joyous about having the opportunity to like connect through a silly thing of trivia, whatever that is, but also it's a casual way that we can just like say hey and hang out. And I was just thinking, like, if the pandemic happened last year, my life would be so different. Like last year changed so much of my life. I'm going to since you gave your origin story, I feel like it's appropriate for me to just give like a very quick rundown of my life for any of the Broad squad watching that like don't know. And they're like, who is this girl? It's SHO. So thank you, my friend. So I'm a theater reporter, but I graduated with a theater degree and worked for Comcast Sportsnet and was an on-air reporter for CBS 7 News, your breaking news and weather authority. And through meeting in a Hamilton group and through being friends in like the theater community, and I would like make all of these theater references, I realized that like the world is wide enough, and there is a specific niche of wanting a professional reporter who's also a professional fan, as you so perfectly put earlier. I love that term because it's true that you can use your passion and turn it into a job. Jen from Scenery has this like beautiful way of putting it, and I love it, and I quote her all the time for saying that. But it's It was so beautiful to see the theater community welcome me. So the end of 2018, I finished my contract in West Texas. I drove across the country from West Texas to New York in 4 or 5 days. Then this is like the craziest like few days of my life. So let me see if I get this straight. January 9th, I think was like, you could volunteer for Broadway Con and then you get some swag and you get a free ticket if you do enough hours. And I was like, sign me up. I'm broke and a fan. This is perfect. Yes. So then 3 days of Broadway Con, amazing. Then with some friends, I go to Hamilton, Puerto Rico. I see Lynn on his birthday. What? Crazy. And he retweets this photo I took of him at the curtain call. Yeah. What? Crazy. I mean, this was just bonkers. It was amazing. My birthday is January 14th. His birthday is January 16th. So there was a lot of birthday love. And Hamilton's is January 11th, I'm pretty sure. So there's something about the fact that I was born in between Hamilton and Lynn.
Yeah.
That like I was meant to do this. This is where I'm meant to be.
Yes, girl.
and then it was just like off to the races from there, and then covering Broadway and opening nights and the Tony Awards, and we'll get to your Tony Awards story. And it's just through all of this, thinking about that this started at the beginning of 2019 and how profoundly grateful I am that I was given a year to like have these experiences and build these friendships. And if you were looking forward to something so passionately that got canceled, I send you so much love because I've been thinking so much about that and so much about you and Judy, who's watching now. We were going to meet at Broadway and then the pandemic happened. So, even though we do trivia together, there's nothing like getting to hug a friend that you've met through being a passionate theater fan. So all that being said, I thought that would be like a good idea for you to like get to know me. And show off my Hamilton cup.
Ooh.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
It's
sure
from
my
Etsy.
Googling her eyes over that one. It's so it's beautiful.
Yeah, big fan.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you, my friends.
Yeah, I have to give you credit, girl. Like for you to, just pack up and say, you know what, I'm gonna follow my dream. I commend you for that.
Well, we actually have a cool little story. I mean, we didn't really officially meet, but we met very early on.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember seeing a production of American Son.
I do.
Production. It was
The last show.
The last show.
So it just so happened, my dear, that you were sitting directly behind us. And because, right?
Well, because we were friends. We've met through Broadway Con. We've followed each other. I mean, let's face it, the Broadway community is actually quite small.
Yeah, and through social media.
Media. And so, but I knew you as Samantha, the reporter from Texas, right? And so that's how I knew you, but I heard your voice and it sounded familiar, but I heard you introduce yourself as Shoshana and I was like, they can't be the same person. And hadn't followed the fact that you did change your name, if you want to, tell a little on that story, but that you were at the same show as us.
Yeah.
You had like right behind each other at that show.
So crazy. Everything about this story is just like the perfect and craziest, like all these things had to happen for it to be there. All right, I don't want to talk too much because I'm interviewing you, but I will tell this. I'll tell this quick story because I also think there's like some good background that anyone who doesn't know this it's very helpful. So Shoshana is my Hebrew name, and I've always felt this connection with it. I'm Brazilian, Egyptian, Italian, American Jew, and I'm very proud of like all of those aspects. And my grandpa's name is Sam, which is why I was named Samantha, and I love that connection. But I always felt like he was Sam and I was Shoshana, and I never wanted to change it because I didn't want to like not honor him. But then I also realized that by like embracing who I am and taking the heritage that like he's passing on, that's also honoring him. So I've been wanting to do this like for years, but when you're a reporter and like your name, you're literally like Samantha Medney, CBS 7 News. Like that's your job, is to like brand yourself with a name. And I always thought like, well, if I didn't do it in high school, I can't do it now. If I didn't do it in college, I can't do it now. Oh, I'm now an on-air reporter and like I'm applying for new jobs. I can't do it now. And then doing this move from Texas to New York and becoming a theater reporter, I was talking it over with some friends and they were like, you are so much of a Shoshana. You're a show. You're a Shosh. Like you need to do this. You need to, and just having that support was like, oh, okay. And I did it. And the outpouring of support was just like beyond my wildest dreams. I just remember like sitting in my room crying, being like, oh my God, my friends are the best.
That's awesome.
That's so great. That's so great.
Yeah. So we go way back, my dear, all the way back to,
yeah.
So then to connect that with that show, so I'm from New York, but I'm currently in Washington State because I'm at John's house. John is my boyfriend who is going to come up many times today because we also met through Hamilton, and you two have a connection with him almost separate than that. But before John and I were even together, when we were just friends, he was like, so I'm going to see the last show of American Son with Jeremy Jordan. I'm going to rush this morning. And if I can get a rush ticket, like, do you want to go? And I was like, yes, please. Thank you. So he got the rush ticket. We weren't even sitting together. I was like, on the side. This is what's like so crazy. And then I don't know if you know this, you might, when we got there and like, everyone has their like theater plan. So you go early so that you can go to the bathroom beforehand. And I'm in line waiting for the bathroom. And I go, oh my God. And I go, hey, Pippa. And she turns around and Philippa Sue is in the line with me. And it was just crazy. So yes, that day was
right. That's right. I do remember.
Yeah,
she was there.
Being there.
Oh
my
goodness!
Wow.
Isn't that just? I mean, it really is a small world. That's just
so
crazy. So crazy.
So more on John though. So we were actually, one of the trips to New York, we were supposed to see The Network. With Bryan Cranston. But our tickets fell through. We were going to do a StubHub thing or something. It fell through. So we ended up getting last minute, the best seats, right? We've ever sat in at the Richard Rodgers. Last minute on StubHub for Hamilton.
Literally buying them off of StubHub, like right outside the theater, buying them right then. And
like we took the traditional, playbill picture, photo. Right? And people commenting that there was John's head
in front of us
in the photo in front of us. And we were like, wait, what? This was, of course, later because we didn't connect it at the show, which was a shame.
This seems like a running theme.
These loud ass chicks were sitting behind me because we were like, woo, woo.
Yeah.
During the whole show.
But then we later did connect in San Francisco.
Yes.
Before
first
that.
We were in Chicago and we saw One Last Shy.
Yeah.
The whole time, Chicago. And I remember we were outside getting ready to go in and we hear the Broadway Broads. And that was our first meeting of you and John together.
Yeah.
And I remember like, look at that guy in the suit. He looks
dressed to
impress. And it was John. It was just, it's just nuts. So like the world is it's
small.
Just small.
Theater, that whole, and I remember watching you. I think you were like getting some footage and of that and probably put out some content from that particular trip or whatever and watching that and being like, oh my God, and just excited for you.
Well, your footage, you were like, you got to go down, you have your press pass, right?
Yeah.
And you got to go. You got the photo of Miguel as Hamilton, like right up. I remember seeing that footage. I was like, damn, that camera.
Yeah, that was wonderful. Really
to have a camera like that. So
wonderful. Very happy for you later. That was a fun trip. Just that whole being in that room for that last performance. Yeah. I mean, something else, right?
Who knew that it was really going to be our one last time?
I know. Who knew? I know.
At your last time
to see Hamilton, or did you see it again?
No. Let me. Okay.
You went to London, huh? You did.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Okay. We have so many things we need to talk about. This is what happens when you're chatting with friends and you're also attempting to be a reporter. And I actually just love this because it's so genuine and fun. And like, you're just watching like three friends catching up like over the internet, over an interview. It's perfect. We will get to One Last Chai in a second. I feel like I have said that 3 times, but I really want to like be able to embrace the beauty of it. For those who don't, how many times have each of you seen Hamilton?
I'm at 18.
Respectable.
Yeah, I think you're
at 16.
This is not including the time working in San Francisco. These are like actually where you paid and sat in the show.
Yeah.
So I think you're around 16 and I'm at 18, 19, 18-ish. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm at 8, which like to a lot of people is like, whoa, you've seen it 8 times, like it's in different cities, in another country, in London on my birthday, as you said. Right. This Hamilton birthday tradition, big fan.
Right. Yeah.
So this John guy who we just keep talking about, he has seen Hamilton in person because now that it's on Disney Plus, everyone's like, do you mean in person or on Disney Plus? No.
Right.
In person, on Broadway, in London, in Chicago, in San Francisco, in LA, in Seattle. He has seen Hamilton 48 times.
That's insane.
Yeah, I remember like in having a conversation with him being like, dang, because when people ask, we always have that embarrassed but I'm like, but John,
Yeah, my parents will tease me up and down. They're like, again? You're seeing it again? I'm like, you don't understand. You just don't understand. You don't get it.
It's nice to be chatting with people who get it.
Yes.
It really is.
See, I'm not alone.
Right?
You are not alone.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So, okay. I felt like I had to get that out of the way because it is like the bombshell moment, like 48 times. It's the same amount that,
hey, we all hail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Quite frankly, there is no no judgment, no shame there.
Not
we think it's
no, live your life. It's the best.
One of our favorite things is talking about being repeat attenders there's a list of shows like that for us. So we love it. We think it's fantastic and we hope he gets to 50 soon.
Yes.
Yes.
That it would be so funny if it were like C50 get one free, like courtesy of Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Please, can we get a punch card?
Like a punch card.
Yeah, we need a punch card. Yeah, come on.
You know, T. Rico has started the punch card system. I think it would be respectable to have a Hamilton punch card.
There,
Yeah,
Michelle,
yes.
yes.
I think you do. You go 49, you get your 50th for free.
Yes.
Let's make it happen.
It's reasonable. It's reasonable. Okay.
I
So
like
okay, I'm seeing some so quick also note, and then I promise we are going to get to this one last chat story because it's so good. I see all of your comments. You are beautiful. I love that sometimes you're having comments within each other, like you're just having a conversation. That is perfect.
I love it.
Also, I have astigmatism and I can't see everything perfectly. So I put on these lovely glasses, but then you see this ring light. So occasionally I will throw them on and read all of this. Yes. Okay, perfect. So just a quick note in case if I look like a grandma being like, what is that? Honey,
sit down, John.
Sit down, John. You got little.
That's
Lisa asked me if I ever say that to John, and the answer is obviously.
Yeah, made for you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, love
It
it.
would be absurd if I didn't. Okay, so one last chai, or hi, if you will.
Yeah.
There's so much to say about it. First of all, sitting with a group of friends, Jen, it was me, Lisa, you, surrounded by other friends. John was in what he likes to call his spot in Chicago because he saw it an absurd amount of times from the same seat. I think it was like second row off to the left. It was like just outside of premium seats. I don't know. He will tell you firsthand how proud he is of that one spot. Anyway, so we're sitting there and just the applause and the standing ovations and the tears and the napkin and so why don't the two of you just give your take on that day, that weekend, and just everything, and then I'll chime in after, but I want to hear it from your point of view.
Well, it really, I'm just so glad now that I look back on it, you know, hindsight 2020, right? I had no, 2020, that's, wow. Yeah, had no idea. And one of my friends here in the Bay Area reached out saying, hey, we have an extra ticket. Would you want it? And I said, I can't. Okay. Yeah, I do. I want it. So I quickly went on, bought a flight ticket, called this one up and said, hey, I know it's last minute, but any chance you want to go? I don't have a ticket, but we'll figure it out. I have one ticket for me, but we'll figure out a ticket. She's like, no, I can't. Then a few minutes later, she's like, well, what's the dates? And before I knew it, we're on a plane to Chicago going to see it. Yeah. She didn't even have a ticket.
I didn't even have a ticket. And then my friend Katie found a ticket for me.
Yeah.
Yes, Katie.
Yes. And like a really good ticket. So
we weren't even sitting together. I was sitting with you and with Lisa, who I was so happy I got to sit next to Lisa because our energy and the feels, you just it couldn't be matched, you know. And I did feel, I was like, I'm gonna miss sitting next to Sara. And I was so glad that I was sitting next to people who love the show as much as we did.
Talked about like just the palpable energy of the theater, and we weren't sitting next to each other, so we couldn't necessarily discuss it as it was happening. But it was just this, like, it was palpable. Like I can't believe that you couldn't not feel it. You know,
remember? Like, I'm going fuzzy on how many standing ovations we had in that show. Was it at least 3 or 4?
Oh, easily.
Right? At least I want to say when Miguel came out, there was one there for sure. Mm-hmm. I know there was one after one last time.
Yep.
Even when
near Theodosia, which was the most emotional thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. History has its eyes on you. Yeah. Oh my God. It was just, I mean, it was ongoing, like constant.
just having just that energy, and it was such a positive energy, and even the people I sat around were just so thrilled to be there. And like, even though we were saying goodbye to something, it was still so like joyful, you know what I mean? It was such a joyful goodbye, and everyone was so proud, and the mayor, and I mean, like, just all of it, and again, we always say, like, the last minute trips like this always seem to be like the ones where all the crazy wacky stuff happened, but it's like we had no intention of being in Chicago to see that, a week before it was happening. And then there we were getting to, like, socialize with other folks who love theater and who love Hamilton, and just, all of that. It was just really nice. And something I think, it's one of our top experiences. Absolutely. For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, in Yorktown, Lisa saying, also, I just saw your comment about C50 and you get the other 51.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Love it. Yes, I love that. The other 51.
Yes, the other
so 51. Good. There's a reference for everything.
That's so good. So good.
And the Miguel, so there's so many things to say about Miguel and that whole company, but truly trying to find the right words, what to say to you, that Dear Theodosia, like, I thought that Quiet Uptown was going to break me, which it did, but there's nothing like that Dear Theodosia where he couldn't say the second my son, where it was just in his throat, and you could just tell there was this, like, silence in the air. Like, there was this thing where everyone who was there knew, and if you didn't, you knew not to, like, ask, or, like, you knew that there was something that had happened that made this, like, way more than just acting. And it was, I mean, Miguel is just, the fact that he can do, like, this young, scrappy, and hungry Ham so well, and then has this emotional side that is naturally so talented and amazing, and then you have the personal element to it. And I just, Lisa saying she gets choked up thinking about that, and I am getting choked up and emotional just thinking about it now, because to have the heart to do that in front of all of these people, to then go to Broadway and continue doing this,
and knowing that his wife was in the audience and his family was in the audience. I mean, it's one thing to do it in front of people you don't know and your audience, and you give it to them every single night, but to know that your family was there as well. Like, that was
unforgettable for sure. Mm-hmm.
I actually saw Kelly at intermission. Oh, sorry, you go.
No. I was just I try to turn it so that we're not being down, but I also remember the amount of joy that, and we even commented during our review, watching them do the story of tonight and how much fun they had with it, that you could tell that they went off the book, that if Tommy was there, Tommy would have been like,
it was so good.
They were like throwing each other off on purpose, and it was beautiful to watch that.
It was special. Like, that was a very special thing to get to see a cast celebrate like that on stage. It was special. So.
Thank you.
We love that show.
We love it so much. And just like one quick other note about that, we honor the life of Adelaide, and if you can donate to Cure, they're doing some wonderful work, so that more families don't have to go through this. And they have a wing that they're dedicating to Adelaide. There's some info about this on Miguel and Kelly's social medias, and if you have any questions, let me know. But it's one of those things that, what is a legacy? This is a legacy, and if you can donate, this would be really appreciated. And I know they really appreciate it, and they've given us so much, so this feels like the least we can do to give back.
Absolutely. Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. Well said. Said.
But yes, that it really was. One last comment about One Last Chai is that they really did everything the most, and that was the best. And if you want to see that video, you can see it on bwaySHO.com. Yes. It was so cool just being able to, like, I remember I spoke to the people who were next to us, and I was like, just so you know, I'm a reporter. I'm filming the curtain call from the front. And I remember just, like, setting it all up with the press person, was like, okay, so you're seeing the show, but then you're also going to go front. So like right when the curtain, like right when it goes, black, then you have to like run out, run to the front, run back through. Don't take the film from your seat. Like you actually, so I was told not to stay in my seat, which I was like, if you need me to just film it from here. And they were like, no, you should go in front. And like, I'm like sprinting with my like professional camera and I like,
oh yeah, we saw you. We saw you just right past us. I was like, yes, girl, go, go, go.
My Quidditch experience really coming into hand right here.
I love it.
That was crazy. Okay, so I want to stay on Hamilton right here because this time is going so quickly and I want to be conscious of it. But if we don't talk about your Daveed Diggs original Broadway cast story, I can't not have that happen.
Okay. So Hamilton, so that was the first trip to New York for your broads, and for me ever.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother story. But anyway, we were picking shows, and we had both gotten a holiday bonus at the time because tickets at the time were nowhere near the astronomical prices that they ended up being, but they were still pricey.
They were still double.
They were like double
the
the face value. And so we were like, let's do it. So we bought the tickets. We knew Daveed Diggs was in it and he was a Bay Area guy, and so we were excited about that. We, at the time, were in touch with a company that was making these hustle heads. And at the time, the Warriors were doing exceptionally well. And maybe you remember seeing these very big heads of Steph Curry and, all of that. So the company that makes that is called Hustle Heads, and they were friends of ours. So I'll let you take it from there.
So we saw, I don't remember the photographer, but there's a photographer who did these beautiful, like black and white sepia type photos of the cast. So do you remember seeing those? They had them of all the original cast members. So we asked to have that one done in a hustle head.
So they kind of they hustleized it,
they
as
made
they call
it cartoon-esque, but it was Daveed Diggs' head. So we had one huge, blown up, and we brought that Bay Area to New York. And so we took a photo of ourselves on Virgin Airline with our Daveed Diggs, and we tagged Daveed Diggs, not even thinking anything of it, and tagged him. And not even an hour later, we got a response from Daveed saying, "Oh, it's going down
for you
tonight.
The
turn-ups for you tonight. The Bay Area is lit," or something like that. And so at the end of the show, the curtain call, we were in the orchestra, row P. I'll never forget, row P.
God, those seats.
And at the end of the show, we put the hustle head up, and Jonathan Groff went like this to Daveed, elbowed him, and he was like, "Look," and the whole cast started pointing up at the hustle head. And then he like pointed back to us. And so we went to the stage door and he saw the hustle head and he said, "Just wait there. So we got to meet him after the show. And it was incredible.
And he was I'll never forget that because it's like, and of course to see him now, it's such a joy to watch him, it's like, oh, I love it. Just that there's a pride there. And I don't know, it's just, there's pride, but like, he was so gracious, and I'll never forget that moment where it was like, we said our thank yous and our goodbyes and we took photos and everything. And he just sort of turned around, threw his backpack on, held his hustle head under his arm and walked over to the train. Like, was going to hop on the train and go home. It was like, just like he's just this totally talented, ridiculously talented human being, but like he's just this regular guy, regular dude from the Bay Area that I would know, and he just.
The next day, though, we went to Broadway Con.
Oh, God.
The next day, and we had brought him a gift, and we had Oaklandish. You've probably seen if you follow Daveed Diggs, he wears Oaklandish gear all the time. So we had got him an Oaklandish T-shirt, and the next day, the whole cast of Hamilton came to Broadway Con, and Sara and I were in like the 5th or 6th row, and we were recording, and he saw us in the audience. He was like, "Hey," and he was wearing the shirt that we got him the night before. He was wearing it, and we were like children, little
just
girls.
a lot of pride, and it was very like reminiscent of like Teen Bop or something, Lisa,
pride is not the word I'm looking for.
Exactly. And he's just not only a talented individual, but also just has a genuine big heart. We've met his mother. Like, we happened to go see Blind Spotting with his mom in the Bay Area. Not with his mom, but we went to the same theater at the same time, and we were like, oh my God, it was just, yeah, so we definitely have some love and some pride there for Mr. David Diggs. Yeah, so that's our story.
Yep.
I'm obsessed with this story so much. Y'all have to watch their video that's on your YouTube channel, and just like the shaky video is almost better because it's so it's just like, oh my god, it's all happening. It's all happening.
He would really like point us out, and I'm holding it, and then I was like, oh god, and I forgot the recording. I did not.
And that's just the truth, you know. As much
Amateur.
as like we're just fans, you know, like the whole professional fan. It's like we're still fans, you know what I mean? We're still just as, you know, giddy about some of this stuff as anybody else, and like we just, I mean, it's just so it's
the
true.
common line that Sara says to me all the time, because I turn into this. She says, "Say it to me."
Be cool, Jenny. Be cool.
Yeah. Like that.
She's getting a lot better, though. She's getting a lot better.
But she always like, be cool. Be cool, Jenny. Be cool.
There are moments, though, where, I have my moments, too. Though. But
there are moments where the words don't reach.
Exactly. See?
So your people.
I know. Oh, my God.
David is just fabulous and such a kind soul. And I don't know if you've seen his new song and music video, Puppy for Hanukkah. It is.
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it.
Yes. Okay, I'll have to check it out.
As a Jewish kid growing up who had like one song, 8 Crazy Nights, was like, Adam Sandler was like the only one doing stuff. And then we had a little acapella. That was pretty cool. There was even an acapella Hamilton Hanukkah song.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
But then to have David Diggs, who is like very possibly my all-time favorite artist and just like kind soul, do that. My friend Julia sent it to me, and I'm just like smiling ear to ear. I love him so much. So I met him at the Public Theater. You know how they do like the Joseph Papp free first preview? Have you heard of that? It's so cool. There's so many great ways that like theater companies give back to people who like can't afford it or whatnot. And so for White Noise, it was, you just do this online thing like, I would love to go see this. And then we got 2 tickets, and we had pizza with him. And he, like at the like upstairs at the Public, he's eating pizza and we're chatting. And I was like, do you mind if we take a picture? And he's eating the pizza. And he's like, yeah, just take it.
Just take it. He's so chill. Yeah. I love it. He's so hella bay.
He's
I love it. Yep.
It's so pride is not the word I'm looking for.
Nope.
That
not
is
at
so
all.
true.
Yep.
It is so good. So, okay. We love our Hamilton. I feel like we can tell Hamilton stories for days, but also you're very known for your Ain't Too Proud and your Sixth Love. So let's start with Ain't Too Proud and tell us how you got to know them, and then this fabulous ultimate story of what you got to go do.
So Ain't Too Proud debuted in Berkeley at Berkeley Rep, which is right around the corner from where we live, here in the Bay Area. And the tickets were, very hard to come by. And Jen usually is the one, she is the editor of all the videos. She gets all the credit for that. And she also gets all the credit for being the ticket lady, like she really sort of has procured most of our tickets. But in this case, I got a wild hair, saw something pop up like on Facebook or something. And I was like, I'm going on, I'm getting tickets. And I remember having them in my, in the cart, and they were front row. And I was like, I couldn't get a hold of her. I was like, well, I'm going to, I don't know if she can go, but I have these.
Okay. So we're doing this?
Yeah, exactly. And this happened. This happens for both of us. This happened before. And so I bought the tickets, and then I sent her the text message like, yo, we're going to this show, So,
yep.
And then I had a very small connection. My high school drama teacher, Lucian Vinci, who, if you're watching, hey, Lucian, but love the guy. And his best friend was actually the fight coordinator for the show. So I had heard about the show sort of like in a weird way, the show that's coming on, my friend is the fight. And I'm like, okay, sure, I'll see the show. And so we go, and we are just floored.
The first time that we saw it, and we were both wearing Hamilton hoodies, and Ephraim Sykes was in it. And I remember as the conveyor belt is going across, I looked at him and said, "You're going to Broadway. You're going to Broadway. You're going." Like we had a feeling. We just were like, this show has to go to Broadway.
Yeah. So then the show left Berkeley and went to LA, and LA is not that far from where we are. Well, I mean, it's not that close either, but it relatively. So we made a trip out of that and went down to LA.
How many times did we see it, Sarah?
We saw it twice.
In how many days, Sarah?
In one day. Yeah. So we did it. We did a 2 show. And through all of this, of course, we're following the show and the actors through social media. And we happened to make a connection with the drummer of the show, who was great on social media and just very like open about like, you know, where he was, you know, what he was seeing in the cities that they were touring and all that. And so there we were in LA. We did have some cookies made. I remember we had some cookies made for the
microphones.
And so we were like waiting to like hand them off to stage door, and we're standing toward the side, and this car pulls up, and it's an Uber or whatever. And this guy jumps out, and he's like, "Hey," and it's Clayton. He's the drummer from Ain't Too Proud. And we're chatting. It was like, "Oh, so nice to meet you. Thank you so much. Whatever. Here's some cookies. We're just going to drop them off. We'll, you know, have a great show. We'll see you." And he's like, he says, and I remember you and I looked at each other like, "Are you kidding me right now?" He's like, "You guys probably already have an in on this, but if you want, you know, I'd love to show you backstage." And we're like,
"Be cool, Jenny. Be
cool.
Like,
be cool, Jenny. We'd love you. Thank you so much. Of course we don't have an in. Like we're bringing, like, no, we're just here to see the show, you know." And
we're bringing the cookies.
Yeah, we brought cookies. Like, you know, yeah. And then do you remember Jeremy Pope? Jeremy Pope ran. So the cookies go in. We're still chatting with Clayton, you know, and he's just so gracious. We're still, I mean, I consider Clayton a friend now. I mean, and that we'll get a little bit more into that. So, and Jeremy Pope comes running out of the stage door, like, "Hey," giving us hugs for I mean, just the most like joyous
person. Came out with his dog, and he was like, "Hey, the girls with the cookies, we saw you in the front row." And we're like, "What the hell is going on here?"
Yeah.
It was like magic how it all happened. This is where we always say we never ask for anything. Yeah. We're just
open and optimistic.
Professional fans. We like to bring gifts, not for no other reason but to just show our love for what they're doing for us, what they give to us. So that's all it was.
Yeah. So we didn't follow the show. From there, it went to Toronto,
and DC, then Toronto.
Was it DC first?
Yeah. And we had friends in all the different cities, and we said, "You guys got to go see it." So we were sending people to go see the show, because by then we were saving money for Broadway to go see it on Broadway.
And then we were like, okay, now it was our annual
trip.
Was it our annual? Hold on, let me think about this. The next time we saw it,
no,
it was not our annual trip.
We added a trip. We added
just to see it because it opened in March
or end of February, March, and we went in April to go see it. Yeah,
and we saw that, and of course, that was a beautiful trip. We saw Clayton again, connected with him, met his beautiful girlfriend Bryn.
Went and had cocktails
at Bond 45 show. He took us backstage. I mean, the cast has been just the most wonderful. I mean, they've been lovely to us, and I mean, the feeling is mutual. I mean, we love them. They're just talented beyond words, and the show is just highly recommended.
The Wednesday before, we're planning our Tony party to watch Ain't Too Proud from home.
This one's making like custom candles of all the shows that we want to win to like.
I was already, my house was decorated. I had printed all the playbills. I'd framed them all. I had them all up and everything. We get a text message on the Wednesday before the Tonys from Clayton saying, "Do you want to come to the Tony party, to the Ain't Too Proud Tony party?"
And our first answer is,
we can't.
No, we can't.
Like financially, we're like, we can't take the time off. We can't. So we both said no at first.
Yeah. And then I think it wasn't even a half hour later, I called her and I'm just like,
what the hell are we doing? Why are we saying no?
Why are we saying no? Let's talk this out. Like,
tell me how to say no to this. You can't.
Exactly. So we each had our marching orders. It was like, okay, I got to talk to the husband. And I even had more. My husband was going to be out of town for work. So I had to figure out like childcare, and it was just a lot. And then work. I had just started at a new company.
Yeah.
But we made it happen. And we were in New York City for 25 hours.
Yes.
We did not go to the Tonys, but we watched the Tonys from the Ain't Too Proud
Flynn
party.
can't believe it.
I know. Flynn's amazed.
Yeah.
Amazed and astonished.
Definitely that show is definitely special to us. And we've made a pact that will be the first show we see when the lights are back on.
We're going to see.
Yeah, for sure. So
That's
very special. And then 6, my God.
Yes.
God, 6. So
yeah.
So 6 started just from. So we follow other YouTubers from the UK, and a couple of them had seen it in the UK. And so I downloaded it on Apple and started listening to it. And I'm like, Sarah, you got to check this out. This is
I fell hard.
Really good. So we were ahead of it about a year before, and then heard that they were going to bring a premiere to
North America.
North America.
We were still trying to figure out how the hell to get to the UK to see the show.
Yeah.
And then we found out that. We were like,
And then when we heard it was in Chicago, we have friends in Chicago, so we're like, well, we can try to figure out how to make this work. And so we did, and we ended up getting to go see it in Chicago, and we saw it 3 times in Chicago. Fell hard. If you haven't seen any of our videos,
there's a lot
of content on our YouTube channel for 6. Then we ended up booking flights and left and went to Canada.
Edmonton. We love Edmonton.
We love Edmonton.
If you haven't been, highly recommend.
4 times. Saw 4 times there in Edmonton.
And had that whole trip is a whole nother story. But you can watch the content on that. But we saw 4 different shows of 6 that weekend.
We saw with Julie too. Julie came. We brought
Julie.
Yeah, we brought crowns for everybody in Chicago
and in Edmonton.
And we met up with Julie and 2 of her friends who were adorable, and we all went together and we all saw 6 in Chicago together, and it was great, right, Julie? So much fun. So much fun. So and sadly we were supposed to leave. So the shutdown happened on the 6th. No, what day was it? The 12th, and we were supposed to see it on the 18th.
No.
Yeah. And we had tickets to see it 2 times that trip, and then we already had booked to see it the weekend of the Tonys. We had booked flights and everything, and we were supposed to go the weekend of the Tonys too.
Yeah. But we'll be back.
It's okay.
We'll be back.
Only intermission.
Right?
Only intermission. Exactly. Yeah. 6.
Yeah, so those are our babies, definitely. Those are Hamilton and Ain't Too Proud and 6.
Talking about your footage of you singing there. They did like a press release, and you were in the front.
So cool.
Girl, we were all over that.
Yeah,
we were all over your content.
Yeah, your content was phenomenal for that. So yeah,
y'all are too kind.
And did you get to see it? Have you seen it?
Did you see it?
That's also a crazy quick story. I was hoping to see it, but the night before the shutdown, I was at home editing. I remember it so clearly. I was in my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pajama pants. I was very excited to just have like a night in, and I get a text from a friend being like, "Hey, I have a second press ticket. The show's in 45 minutes. Can you make it?" And I was like, "Yes, I'll be there." And I just remember like closing my laptop, throwing on a purple dress because I love to be in theme, and like throwing on sneakers because the E-train wasn't working and I'd have to run from the F. And like, I live about 35 minutes away on the train. And it was like, one of those things like no makeup, don't do your hair, like literally whatever it takes to like look presentable, from going from a pajama night to you're seeing this show the night before it's supposed to open on Broadway, was just incredible. So fortunately, John and I saw it in London, and then I got to see it there.
Okay.
Oh, wonderful.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
It is an awesome show, and I cannot wait for it to get the opening that it deserves. And the fandom already, we missed Broadway Con this year. But
that was crazy.
Such a joy to see. I was watching we were like FOMO'd like nobody's business.
That was our first year missing Broadway Con in the 5. The only reason why we decided to skip it was because we'd already seen all of that year's shows when we went to go the year before, when we saw Ain't Too Proud with our special trip for that. And then we decided let's gamble and go in March instead. And so we gave up going to Broadway Con to go see 6 in March. But
we were steady on the content, and seeing the fandom of 6 was like, It's amazing. The show hadn't even opened.
Didn't even open
yet. And the amount of love, the cosplay, I mean, I was like, I kept telling Jen, like, oh, I wish we were there, because I mean, we just share that love of the show. To see the enthusiasm was something else. So I cannot wait for the show to get the opening it deserves, so that, you know, the fandom can continue, because it's growing still, even
so much.
In intermission, it's multiplied. So let's hurry up and be safe and get back.
And I have to give the two of you a shout out for your content, because like I watched all of your Edmonton 6 Queen love, and like the queens would take your phone because they knew you and like film from the stage. That was so cool.
It was so cute.
Those ladies, they were so wonderful to us. Like they were.
The last night, because they had the weekend that we went. If you saw our videos, the weekend we went, they had several injuries, and they still talk about the show must go on. They still performed, even though one of them had a rib cage popped out, or a rib popped out of the rib cage. Another one had a busted knee. Another one had a busted ankle, and they still went on, even with chairs on. They still went on. And on the 4th performance that weekend that we saw, they had their stage manager ask us to please wait after the show, because they wanted to have like a moment with us. And we were like, it's nuts. And they said to us, they're like, we wouldn't have gotten through it without knowing you guys. Like, we were their rock, they said, that weekend.
Well,
because we were there every show.
And we told everybody around us, I mean, because, you know, we're not shy.
Really?
If you happen to catch us at the theater, say hello, because we're down for a chat.
Say hello.
With folks. And like, we saw the show in Chicago, so we've seen the full show, right? And I swear to you, to do it, I feel like we got such a special show that weekend, and like you didn't miss anything. Yes, the choreo is hot and on point, but it's like we got something so special and so unique that night that like we didn't miss out on anything at all, and nobody did really. Yeah,
and even for the queens to say too that they got to watch, because usually some of them perform with their backs, like they only get to see each other from the back, and so because of the chairs, they got like, some of them were crying when they saw the other ones sing their songs.
When Seymour said, they were like,
we've never seen it before. We're always sitting behind it.
Their backs are,
yeah. So it was really just amazing to be able to see all of it.
It was special. It was very special. So obviously that show is a special place in our hearts. We will definitely be there. That'll be on the list. Number two, right after.
Yeah.
So you can count on that for us. So yeah, those are our babies.
Wow. Oh,
don't ask us to put them in order, okay? It's not fair. You don't have to put your kids in order.
Exactly. I know. When I watched your video on your top 10, and I was starting to think of mine, but then I would be like, oh, and then this one, and I'm just like, I'm not doing this. I'm not. You so can't
hard.
Me.
I know. It's so hard. It's so hard.
Totally understood.
So, okay, we only have a few minutes left, and if anyone has any like big questions that you want to ask, drop it now. But this is the time of the interview where I'd love to hear if there are any nonprofits or charities that you'd like to shout out.
Yes.
Well, I would like to, since you brought up Adelaide, I would like to, again, just acknowledge that. So that would be one. But the one that is very near and dear to our heart that we've been trying to constantly make donations during this pandemic has been the Actors Fund. So we will be in your name for having us being such a great host. We're going to make a donation today to the Actors Fund in your name. So thank you for adding that. I love that you add that to yours. I think that's really, really great. Nice way to give back. So
and it's an easy way to give back, and even a small amount, you know what I mean? And it really does go a long way. You know, I encourage people to do their research on where they're giving their money. And I did, I dove into the Actors Fund, and I was in tears reading about some of the stories in the Actors Fund, and I focused my giving since the pandemic to the Actors Fund. And so that's where we'd ask, you know, if anybody can give a little bit to do that.
Yep.
Y'all are making me so emotional.
We try, we laugh, we cry. You know, it's a full spectrum here with your broads.
I feel like I'm re-experiencing Hamilton in Chicago again.
Yeah, that was special, girl. Yeah, that's special time. Definitely.
Yep. So special. And I mean, this is just, no, please, you go.
Oh, we do want to mention, we do have, if you want some more of your broads, we're doing a little Vlogmas.
Yes.
on day
Three
today, actually dropped today. And so we did 12 days of Vlogmas. We were giving away lots of Broadway cards and just talking a lot about theater, you know. We can't get to the theater right now, but we can definitely talk about it and get together and talk about it and try to enjoy it that way. So get over to YouTube and subscribe and hang with your broads.
Yeah.
Smash that subscribe button.
Yep. That's what the kids say. So trying to stay relevant, right?
I love it. No, I love everything about it. So I'm just making sure I didn't miss any things, because I've done that before where I write notes and then there was like something big I really wanted to bring up and I didn't, and I was so sad. No, so this is good. La la la. So, Judy wants, I believe, Sara to say this word, and I'm going to let you read that.
Oh, man. Lenticular. It's I've given up on it. I've given up on it. The word is shiny card.
Shout out to Paul at Broadway Dolls and Guys, who has been educating your broads. We're out of the game. We haven't collected in years. And so this has been hilarious for us. But we're learning. We're learning and we're prepared to get back in the game.
Lenticular.
Oh my gosh, fantastic.
So I'm going to give a quick where y'all can find me. And then if there's anything else the two of you came into today, I want you to say that. So think about it right now. Y'all can find me at bwaySHO. That's bwaySHO, as you see from this lovely banner all the way here, made by the fabulous Chelsea Hill, aka Illustrating Diva. I also have bwaySHO, the podcast, which you can find on your favorite podcast app. And if you can subscribe, if you can smash that subscribe button on this YouTube channel, there are playlists. There's Hamilton and Six and Ain't Too Proud and Beetlejuice and Be More Chill and The Lightning Thief and Hades Town and Newsies. I can spend hours. And this musical. But it's been so much fun getting to film Broadway in the Boroughs and Broadway in Bryant Park and Broadway Under the Stars. And those are some of the things I miss the most, and Broadway buskers that aren't happening right now. So if you are nostalgic for any of that, you can check it out on my YouTube channel. I've made a bunch of different playlists. There's also like a Broadway and Beyond playlist that are just music, no interviews. It's just like hours worth of music that if you're like, I usually just put it on if I'm like doing a cleaning day or I'm just like sitting with Slim and you just want some good like music in your life, just smash that music. I'm just going to use smash.
Own it, girl.
Yes.
Own it.
I saw you do that in your interview, in one of your videos, and I was like obsessed with that. So, and speaking of Ain't Too Proud, I've had some of the fabulous members on my series. I've had Jelani and I had Nick Walker, and Jelani Remy was so kind enough to do The Show Must Go On. And that is now my part of my intro for the podcast. And I appreciate him so much for giving me that beautiful, beautiful gem. So thank you. And since I'm giving all the credits, I should say Kyle Braxton for making, like, if you hear on the podcast, there's like this cool intro beat and like underneath beats. He just like took the suggestion and was like, beats, here you go.
Nice.
It's Love it.
Very
Love
cool.
it. Talented friends.
Big fan. So now this is your time. Self-promote away. If there's anything else that you want to make sure people hear, see, can go to, subscribe to, like, now is the time to seize the day.
Well, this is our logo. So Broadway Broads, you want to give our...
Yeah, so we're on YouTube. We're in the middle of Vlogmas, so definitely get over and subscribe. We're giving away lights of Broadway cards on every single video, along with just talking everything theater. We're also on Instagram. Our email address is there as well as on TikTok. Woo.
That's all her. That's all Sara.
Oh.
We have a lot of content coming in December. We have a think tank planned here real soon to come up with some more content for you guys in January. And we just really want to keep the theater community, the fans together, talking about theater and just keeping the passion ready and able for when the curtain goes back up. So we encourage everyone to head over to Instagram, head over to YouTube, and stay well and wear your mask so we can all go back to the theater.
Yes, please, please. Yes.
Yay. Oh,
Yes.
I know. There's a whole series now of SHO masks. I forget the name of it right now. It's going to drive me nuts. But now almost every show has a mask.
Yeah, as they should.
As
We're going to be wearing them for a long time.
Yeah. So let's get it together.
So.
Get it together.
We're having us for joy.
So get your masks. I also wanted to show my Hamilton. Here it is.
Yes.
I love it.
This is not a moment, it's the movement.
Yes.
Black Lives Matter, Black Trans Lives Matter, not a political statement, just a fact. So please do your part. We are experiencing so much, as the saying goes. If things don't change now, they never will. We're in the middle of a pandemic. We're in the middle of a race war, of a civil unrest, of all these different things. And especially speaking about David and speaking about Hamilton, if you love Hamilton, then you need to be on the right side of history. History is happening.
Yeah.
And now is the time to stand up, to use your voice, and stand up for injustice. Because if you see injustice happen, then you need to say something. Because that's why if we're lucky to have a platform, if we're lucky to have people who, for some reason, listen to us, thank you for watching, this is so cool, then we're gonna use it for good. And I appreciate y'all always doing that. And this is it's important. And if you ever have questions or you want to get more involved or whatnot, and you want to talk it through with somebody, my messages are always open, or you can email me, and I'm always happy to just talk things through. And if you feel like you've made it to this point and you have missed stuff, we've all missed stuff, and it's okay, and we can all do better. And this is one of those moments where it starts today. If it didn't start yesterday, it starts today, but we have to make sure we make it a better future for tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
We're here for it.
Thank you so much for having us. This was so fun.
Yes.
And tell
you.
hello.
Please do. And Slim, give him a nice little pet for us. He's been a good boy.
Slim has been the best boy. And John, I will give him a sit down, John, from all of you.
Yes.
And thank you to the Broadway squad for hanging out with us.
Thank you so much, you guys.
Yeah.
Thank y'all. You're so awesome.
Yeah.
All right. We'll
Have
see
a
you
great
later.
day. We'll see you at the show. Bye.
Bye.